Honey Sound Broadcasting, an affiliate of the Bilko Media Network.
So you said you wanted to start with some campaigns. So I got 2 ad campaigns teed up for you to go through.
All right.
One's kind of mainstream, one's a little bit more out there, but I think you'll like it. The first one we're going to get through here is what I think is a very interesting case study of how to take a terrible ad campaign and turn it into something glorious. And what we will be looking at is the PlayStation 3.
Okay.
Do you remember the original PlayStation 3 ads at all?
I remember the backlash around it first coming out and being very, very expensive. I think it was like $600.
$600. Okay, so let me set the stage for when PlayStation 3 launched.
Yeah.
$600. Xbox 360 came out a year before and is cheaper.
Yes.
So you got to sell your audience on why you should pay $600 for a next-gen system that's already behind.
I remember that someone came out and said that it's the time of game system that you would be willing to get another part-time job for in order to earn the money to buy the PS3. I distinctly remember that being something coming out of Sony at that time.
Yeah. So I got 3 ads from the original campaign. So I'll let you watch the first 2, and then we'll break to talk about it, and then I'll send you the last one.
Okay. Okay.
So thoughts?
I don't know which one is more disturbing. The first one...
It's a good way to put these commercials. Disturbing.
Very disturbing. The first one, the Rubik's Cube, having just traveled into the 2001 end of that movie room, meeting the PS3, is levitated off the ground by the mental power of the PS3, instantly solved, violently solved, and then destroyed and sprayed across the room in different colors.
Yes.
Each color landing exactly on one wall. I feel like I just watched the PS3 murder a thing, and then it starts levitating off the ground. So already, and this will not be helped by the second commercial, already I have unease and nervousness at the back of my mind when I see this PS3. I see it as a killer. I see it as...
That's a good way to put it.
As something not to be trusted, and I feel really bad for the Rubik's Cube. The second video is even more terrifying. This is like PS3 Lovecraftian stuff, where the PS3 is in the same room. Poor Rubik's Cube has been wiped off the walls by the PS3's attendants. And the PS3 just slowly starts exuding this black ooze that crawls up the walls and then starts showing me media. Like,
yeah,
again,
it's just
kill it with fire.
It's a weird concept, and it certainly doesn't make me want to shell out $600 for this machine.
It would make me want to shell for $6 to be away from the PS3.
Right. It's just so weird, right? So, all right, that brings me to the third commercial then, which is the coup d'etat, if you will, of these ads. They actually made a lot of these. There's probably, 10 or some odd versions of this, but I kind of plucked out the best
I think
ones.
I remember this ad.
This is the most famous one, and also by far the most disturbing. So
does it have a baby in it?
Absolutely. This is the baby
ad.
Okay.
Okay. So for all three commercials, the ambient sound behind everything is, again, like 2001, where, there's this eerie sound just in the background that's constant.
Mm-hmm.
And the baby in this one opening its eyes, crying, the tears going back up into its eyes. Again, the levitating PS3. This is a scary, malevolent object that you should never let into your home. It'll take your babies and make them reverse cry. Like, I think this one pushed it too far for me. This one, I was like, you're just a bunch of edgy art students, and I'm now, like, bored of this.
This was also the one they played more often than the others.
Yes, because this is the one that I remember.
Right. And maybe that's the point, is trying to get you to remember, but my God, is it an awful commercial for what you're trying to sell. And looking at the other ones that were out there to prepare for this, I actually found there was a YouTube video out there. It's like 4 minutes long. If you read the description, the guy claims to be like one of the lead advertisers on this campaign. And he's like, because of the success of the PlayStation 3, I decided to make this video to tell us more about the concepts behind this ad campaign. And he goes on and on and on about basking in his own glory of how awesome this is and how it really sells the PlayStation 3. And it was so cringeworthy. Like, my God, like, you have no idea what you did. Like, this is just bad.
Despite of, not because of.
Correct. And if you actually look at PlayStation 3 sales, like, they were not good for the first year at all. Like, Xbox was outselling it like almost 3-1.
I remember this. I remember this because I, too, like everybody else, was like in, what was this, 2006?
2006.
2006?
Yep.
Now, in 2019, that's $600, probably is like $800, right? I
Something
mean,
like that, yeah.
That could buy me a very good computer.
Yep.
Pre-built, custom, everything. You could.
Well, you also got to think of what the PS3 was at the time, right? Like, it had 8 processors when back then no computer had more than 1. I mean, it had, like, they lost money on every deal. I think they had like $1,200 worth of equipment at the time in a PS3, but they'd make it up in game sales over time, and the cost of that hardware is going to come down too, which it eventually did. But
I remember that.
But to sell it for that price point up front, like with this ad campaign, like, it was just such a weird thing. But anyway, so fast forward a year, and they start to shift gears a little bit. And so let me show you what the ads became a year later. And I remember watching this one in 2007 in the dorm because they played it all the time.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. You've seen that seeing is believing. Your ears and your eyes will be bleeding. Please check to see if you're still breathing. Do you want it? Do you need it? Let me hear it. Ladies and gentlemen, do you want it? Do you need it? Let me hear it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Please come inside. Ladies and gentlemen, do you want it? Do you need it? Let me hear it. Ladies and gentlemen, do you want it? Do you need it? Let me hear it.
Only on PlayStation 3, starting at $399.
All right, 2 main thoughts. We're just gonna write off women when we're selling this thing completely.
Well, that is their target market, right? Like, teenage male.
Have you ever heard of a self-fulfilling prophecy? I can guarantee you that if you have an ad campaign that has octopus tentacles, dragons, it was all very heavy metal, like what was coming out of the PS3. Overall, 1,000 times better in terms of selling me the product.
Correct.
I was interested. The song behind it was like a little metal, right, or whatever, but it was still like, do you want it? Do you need it? Like, at least it is trying to incentivize me to purchase a product, which the first 3 were not doing.
Correct. A complete reverse in trajectory of where they were going. However, if you notice, they stuck with the black and white theme still, which I thought was very interesting. but this is what they should have launched with. This in your face, this is what it does, a barrage of everything, that would have been a much better campaign than the crying baby or whatever the heck that was supposed to be.
Yes. If I watched them in a vacuum, I would think they were like anti-commercials, like made to make fun or to criticize the PS3.
Yeah.
Like that is what I would think they were.
So this is what I call the middle ground in the life of the PS3. They had a couple of versions like this. This is the best one, and this is kind of a transition period for Sony, because that brings us to what I would argue is one of the best characters ever created for commercials, Kevin Butler. Do you know anything about Kevin Butler?
I don't. Is he the Allstate guy?
No.
The guy
he's
who's
the PlayStation 3 guy. I don't think he's been in a commercial since. Well, he might have been, but anyway, so I have 6 or 7 of these commercials I'm going to send your way. This is their last third of their life cycle segments. So this is one of the first ones.
Dear PlayStation, I got a tip that you were making the PS3 $2.99. Confirm or deny?
$2.99? Bernie, you can't believe everything you read on the internet. That's how World War I got started. While $2.99 for the sweetest gaming, Blu-ray playing, movie downloading system in the world would be fantastic. No comment.
But all that stuff says $2.99. Right behind you.
I'm sorry, you said something?
PS3, now $2.99.
So, to your point, when it first launched, $600. Now it's down to $2.99, and they really make you aware that it's $2.99, because that was one of the biggest complaints up front. And so with this revamped ad campaign, this was one of the first ones they did, if not the first one they did. Very much in your face that it's $2.99 now, and a much more lighter approach than the creepy weirdness that was before.
So how is this not like 50% off clearance, everything must go? Because they still have how much hardware and product, or did they strip it down, or what?
Things just got cheaper. I mean, by this point, you're talking about like 2012, 2014, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, what Moore's Law, double processing power every year, you start in 2006. By the time you get to 2012 or 2013, it's going to be a lot cheaper. This is half the price of what it started with. So even if hardware costs went down by, to 25% of what they were, that's the extra overage that they were losing money on. Now they're probably making a little profit on each machine. So it makes sense to me.
So $2.99 price point. The fat, slovenly nerd archetype is casually harassing. You can see who's in whose camp these ad writers are in. It's like, harassing these fine, upstanding Sony board members.
Yeah, who really screwed up in the beginning.
and who are the Sony board members who are, just winking a nod, hey, well, we don't know if it's $2.99 or not. Overall, I mean, better at communicating that this thing is cheap now. Yeah. It's kind of amazing, because I remember that consoles had quicker turnaround times in the past, and this seems like a long time, like 6 years.
Oh, yeah. I mean, PS3 was around forever. When did the PS4 launch? It was the same year Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, so 2014?
Mm-hmm. I
want to say. 14 or 15. Probably 14. But yeah, I mean, the PS3 was around forever. But here's another one. Take a peek.
Dear PlayStation, I just created this sweet entertainment package with a Sony Bravia HD TV and a PS3. What do you think?
I think it's brilliant. How about throwing in a game and a Blu-ray disc?
Nice.
And then take off like $1,100?
Boom!
Boom.
Boom!
Boom to the power of boom.
Price check on aisle boom.
Marcy, get me boom. Boom.
Buy a Sony Bravia HD TV and a PS3 and save up to $1,100. Only at Best Buy.
PlayStation.
So the commercials have gotten wacky now.
More or less. But there's also a huge push towards price, right?
Yes.
Like, they're trying to convince you that you have a deal. They're a lot more light. Definitely more wacky.
Yes.
In fact, here, watch this next one, too.
Dear PlayStation, the new weapons in Ratchet & Clank Future, A Crack in Time are of great interest to our organization.
I know, aren't they awesome? And weapons like the Sonic Eruptor and Rhino 5 come in real handy when you're saving the universe. But, you know, of course, the weapons don't really exist.
Yes, don't exist. We'll take all you've got.
But they're not.
The money's already in your account.
Ratchet & Clank Future, Crack in Time, rated everyone 10 and up. PS3, now $2.99.
So it's definitely getting, like, the humor is getting a little funnier. You know, honestly, I now I'm starting to prefer the art house stuff.
I love these, by the way. I think they're great.
Well, because this is just like, I feel like, okay, I'm watching a commercial. Like, I mean, it's I don't like commercials. Like, you know, like that's what I feel like. You know,
I can see that.
You know, they're much more likely to get me to buy a PlayStation 3. Okay, in these commercials, yes. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. But in terms of what I was interested in, like, I mean, I'll take a Rubik's Cube getting murdered now, like, every day.
An interesting
like,
twist.
Yeah, bring back the menace of the original and of this cutesy shit.
All right, I'm going to give you 2 more then.
Dear PlayStation, my grandma won't stop watching Blu-ray movies on my PS3.
Look, for $299, you don't just get a sweet gaming machine. It's like you get the best Blu-ray player around built in for free. You know how old people like free stuff.
Yeah, but I want...
You know what she did for fun when she was your age? She pushed a hoop with a stick.
But I want to play...
With a stick.
I've been waiting...
Stick.
PS3, now $2.99.
PlayStation.
All right, so I like this one, but again, I yearn for the original PS3, the force of malevolence, the otherworldly intruder into our reality that would have when Luke Hirschberg, unhappy grandchild as he is titled, when he complains his grandma is playing the PS3 too much, the original PS3 would have simply splattered the walls of grandma and then said, "You can play me. You can do nothing but play me, Luke." But this one, I am starting to get the appeal of the guy. Yes, he's pretty funny. I like him.
All right.
Dear PlayStation, my family never spends time together, and I'm...
No more words. Just get the fam a PS3. You'll get free access to a world of entertainment on the PlayStation Network. I mean, look at this freakishly happy fake TV family here. Daughter's on Facebook, son's gaming online.
Oh! Wow!
Mother's streaming a dramedy from Netflix. See, they're just like your family.
That's great. But I don't look like her.
She smells like strawberries.
PlayStation.
Oh, Joe Biden. Oh, Joe Biden is what got to get that. Just a deep, deep inhale.
A commercial that probably would not be aired today.
Okay, all right. So I like the ways that they're having all these middle class Americans just complain into the camera, and then Kevin, or what's his name?
Kevin Butler. Yep.
Kevin Butler, just like, you know, says shut up, shut up and buy a PS3.
Correct.
Which is
it's more directed to the point than their earlier commercials for sure.
Which is nice. I mean, I like that. I like that. But really, really loving the idea that you're gonna just surf Facebook on a PS3, sitting around with your family in a living room. Is that what you're gonna do, Sony? Is that?
Well, this was back in the era where they really pushed for the PlayStation to be everything, right? It only does everything. That's the tagline. So they don't see it as just a game console anymore. They see it as surfing the net, which who does that? You know, watching movies, blah blah blah. But it never really became that. But there was a big push back then to do that, and even a little bit into the PS4 era. But they're really starting to pull that back too, and just focus on gaming. I got 2 more actually from now. So watch this next one.
Dear PlayStation, I hear there's a new way to play Killzone 3 with the PlayStation Move.
It's called the Sharpshooter, or as I like to call it, Daddy's Little Helper. It's got this rapid-fire trigger, realistic reload feature, and ridiculous accuracy. I'm playing this in 3D like 5-6 hours a day.
At work? How do you get away with that?
Get away with what? Hello? Oh, hi, Mom.
Killzone 3, rated M for mature.
Okay, all right. So again, the putting Kevin Butler as the lead on these commercials is definitely made them into commercials.
Yep.
And they're pretty funny. Look how edgy they are. And to me, I'm just tired of it. So the gun peripheral on this one.
Yeah, I always laughed at that because it just looks so flimsy. Like, why isn't it not at least black? Who thought a white gun would sell?
It's got like a little Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer bulb on the end of it.
Well, that's so that stupid PlayStation Move can sense, your movement. That's what
It's
that was
like-
for. But I never liked that.
I hope you like Killzone 3 enough to buy a $110 peripheral that probably only really works with Killzone 3.
Right. All right. So I got one more for you, which I would argue is one of my favorites in this set.
Dear PlayStation, is it okay to list MAG platoon leader as management experience?
Absolutely. You rose through the ranks to command real people in 256-player battles. Your decisions influence a constantly evolving war. So what's the job?
VP first-person shooter relations.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Son of a...
MAG. Rated T for teen.
PlayStation.
No, the downfall of Kevin. No, you've been played. You thought you were the corporate machine, but you're just a cog in it, Kevin.
So
Kevin, wake up.
Interesting to note. I believe this was one of the last ones they did, and they actually did kill him off, quote unquote. And then about 2 years later, they brought him back. And I didn't have this commercial, but I do have it in my collection, where he's doing the same thing, but at like a flooring company where he's selling carpet. And then at the end of him saying his deal up to it's the same person, like someone, says, can I get my floor to do blah, blah, blah. It's the same thing. But anyway, so he gets a call at the end from like the Sony president saying, we want you to come back. And he like rips off his uniform and he has the same his suit underneath it. And then he walks outside, jumps on a jet ski, and rides it across the bay to the Sony headquarters, and then like does some other thing. I don't know, but they brought him back like a couple years later, and then they did another campaign with him, somewhat similar in nature, a little bit different, where it wasn't like him.
Still for the PS3.
Still for the PS3. So this was like, I guess.
Wow.
So like these first ones probably were around 2010, and then the second set was around the very end. But the later ones were more focused, where it was like him with the people he's interfacing with, and like for the PlayStation Move, he like went to a family's home and like moved in for 90 days without telling them, and just kind of hung out there, and then like did stuff with whatever. So those are good too. But this whole campaign as a whole, I think, is one of a very strong ad campaign. I personally like them. I think they're fun, they're witty, and they're just a great ride, I think. But I'm someone who likes commercials when they're done well, and I think this is one of the campaigns that have done well. And when you look back to where it came from and started with that god-awful baby and the Rubik's Cube and whatever nonsense was going on there, evolved into what we know as Kevin Butler, like, I think it's a phenomenal turnaround myself.
So I have the exact opposite.
Which is interesting, because I didn't think you were going to go there, but you did.
The last 6 or 7, I'm assuming that's because that's how many tabs I have up.
Yeah.
6 or 7 commercials are just filler. Just if they were a sandwich, they'd be 2 slices of bread with a different kind of bread in the middle. For the first ones, those were a rich palette of flavors, and it was a mystery. Honestly, while the first ones were not good commercials, that's why I loved them, and that's why I'm drawn to those. Yes.
Interesting. Well, if you're curious, there's about 5 or 6 others that they had.
I think I've seen enough. I think I know.
I know.
Like,
I don't even have them because I think they're awful, but
they're in the. I mean, they're just probably in the room.
I'm just letting you know others exist. That wasn't the only 3.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay. So that's that one. We'll end it there.
This has been a presentation of Honey Sound Broadcasting, an affiliate of the Bilko Media Network.